Hello, YouTube channel. This is Robert Kothe, the other half of the Cathy and Robert Kothe. You probably know Cathy as the world record holder for Garfield Collectibles. We get around, and it's kind of a mixed channel. Some people know us as the Christmas boat train people, electronics, and Arduinos and other programming projects like that. Most people know us about Cathy's world record and Garfield collection. And very few know us as the people who just make videos in December to taunt our friends who are stuck in New York while we go to Florida for 19 days. And that's actually how our YouTube channel got started. Well, recently it's come to my attention that we haven't recorded a video in a while, and I know a lot of the Garfield people have been pressing us to put out more Garfield content. And we got a major thing coming up down the pipe as far as an announcement that is currently a secret. But also, I figured it'd be a great time to get people up to date and let people know what's been going on as far as in our lives. As a lot of you know, the Garfield Collectors Convention, also known as the Garfield Gathering, takes place every 2 years at this point. And because of COVID, we were forced to cancel it last year when it normally would have fallen into its cycle. So instead, in 2020, in June, to celebrate Garfield's birthday, it's always around June 19th, we had the Garfield Collectors Convention in the Providence, Rhode Island area. And part of the reason I wasn't shooting a lot of videos is Cathy and I are very active in helping out Nancy, the organizer, in making sure it's a successful event, and also the hosts in the local area. So we're sitting around and coming up with some games, and Joanna and Mike, the hosts, they were providing a Plinko game to drop a disc and it settles down into the slots, and we're coming up with these ideas of how we can incorporate the Plinko game into more events, and we came up with this miniature golf idea. And the miniature golf idea was based on where it lands in a Plinko, depends on how far you'd putt from on the mat. Easy, you run to Lowe's, Home Depot, you pick up some green AstroTurf, cut it down to 12 feet, and based on the fate of the Plinko, that's where you hit from and win Garfield bucks. Sounds simple, until Nancy and Cathy started saying, well, wouldn't it be fun if we had a windmill? And they jump on Amazon.com or the internet, and they're looking around. They just had such horrific toys or entire miniature golf course rentals for old 18-hole parties and things like that. And I'm like, you guys are just, what a waste. I can build something better. And careful what you wish for, because I had at that point 10 days to come up with 3 very elaborate miniature golf holes. And I'm going to shoot to the B-roll and some supporting videos here. But what we're looking at here is this year's logo. And this year's logo featured normal, and mostly because Joanna, the host, loves normal. And I said to myself, okay, now normal's holding a lantern. We'll turn that one into 3 lanterns, and we'll just make that into the windmill. And also featured in this is the famous church, 1 if by land, 2 if by sea, the North Church. And I figured it wouldn't be fun just make the door open and close on the church. And the final idea was Garfield next to the church with his foot going up and down. To make a very long story short, I had 10 days to put it all together and beta test it, and using a very recycled drill, a high-powered, low-torque drill from last year's conveyor belt project. After a major mishap of cutting my finger open, long story short, here's some evidence of it actually working. And we had a great time at the event. Joanna and Mike did a terrific job, and we're going to get some pictures up on the Garfield Gathering site. Everyone's been so busy ever since. So that was June, and all the while in between June, prior to kind of early in February, another major update for the rest of my some followers who actually know that I'm like the boating New York State realtor, or basically New York State licensed real estate salesperson who really has an emphasis in boating. I've been boating all my life, and we bought a new boat. And this could be the subject of a 1-hour video just in itself, especially some of the projects that we did to get it back up to floatability, if that's actually a word. But to summarize it, we got one of the rarest boats you can ever imagine. It's called a Hinterhoeller Limestone Express Cruiser 24. And story goes, and I'll show you some pictures of some projects and some cleanups and stuff as I'm talking about the boat story. But the bottom line is it checked all boxes. Cathy and I have been looking for another boat, especially since we're very active as auxiliarists, volunteers with the Coast Guard Auxiliary. And we're both in boat crew. Cathy and I are both actually certified for boat crew. And we want a boat that would be better on patrol. So when we found this one, it really checked all boxes. And what's rare about this is although the boat was actually engineered to be an inboard-outboard, personally, we think inboard-outboards are the work of the devil. And because we've just the expenses involved, the maintenance in the inboard-outboard, and you do all that, you maintain it, you put all the expenses, and it sinks anyway because that stupid rubber boot between the engine and the, in our case, Long Island Sound. So we wanted an outboard, and they don't make what we're looking for in this size boat. We want something that was trailerable. We want something that has a private bathroom with a door on it. It sounds like a small ask, but that's the deal breaker right there. And on top of that, we want something with an outboard. We also want something you can climb up onto the gunnels, walk around, service the front of the boat. In the case of the Coast Guard Auxiliary, we have to do bow tows or side tows. And side tow, you need to send a crew member up to the bow safely so they could work a couple of the lines. So we need something that was functional as far as reaching both sides of the boat. Our current boat that we have right now is evidenced here. It's a little sporty number, and it's a lot of fun. It's very fast, but it's real tough to do a side tow with something like that because what are you going to do? Wear a full life jacket and pop through a little hatch to do a side tow? So I guess if we had to, we would, but the new one, it honestly checks all boxes. And it's 8 feet wide, street legal. It came with a trailer capable of holding 12,000 pounds. We had to put brakes on the trailer because I will not be caught dead without something that heavy with brakes on it. Plus it is also federal law, if you want to be technical. And so we put brakes on the trailer and brought that up to speed as far as being safe, as it's already been repowered at least once. And the person who repowered it also put on state-of-the-art electronics at the time for 2015. The radar works. We've got side scan sonar. We have VHFs. We have all the bells and whistles and chart plotters. And finally, I mentioned there's something exciting that happened in our life as far as Garfield related. And we honestly can't talk about it because we're contractually under the agreement not to discuss it. But let's just say in the future we're going to have to schedule a watch party when the footage makes it to the television relating to Cathy's Garfield collection. And evidence here's we actually recommissioned our 25-foot Garfield inflatable, as we have in this background photo. It's laying on its side. We cleaned up the eyes. I spray painted the eyes just to make them, it was just really creepy looking before that, the way we bought it. So I cleaned up the eyes, and stay tuned. Wish we can talk about it, but we can't, so we won't. So with that said, I'm glad I've finally taken the time to do this update video, and be sure to subscribe if you're not already subscribed, if you happen to stumble across this and keyworded Garfield. Again, can't guarantee Garfield videos every time, but maybe real estate videos, might be electronics videos, might be boating, could be Coast Guard. Boating safety is important to us, but we'll try to keep you amused. So thank you for watching, and have a great winter.